sincerely. Jazakallah khairan.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي رب زدني علما والحقني بالصالحين سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. My dear respected elders, brothers and sisters in Islam, it was the early hours on the morning of June the 6th. The year was 2016. I woke up and ate suhoor very quickly and left my home at 4 a.m. to Orlando, where I had booked a flight to Louisville, Kentucky. It was the beginning days of the blessed month of Ramadan, and I was on my way for a funeral of a man that I never met in my life. But he gave me, as a Muslim in America, more than I could ever ask for. The great Da'i of Islam, Muhammad Ali, passed away on the 6th of June in the year 2016. His funeral was held on that Thursday. When I was transiting in North Carolina, I met many Muslims who were coming from various cities as we crammed into this small plane on our way to Louisville, Kentucky. When we arrived at the airport, I exited and I did not know where to go, only for myself and others such as Maulana Nasir Janga to be picked up by a stranger and taken on this 2-mile ride towards the funeral prayer which was held at Freedom Hall. When we got there, there were cars as far as the eyes could see. There were buses pulling up from all over the nation. Buses from Texas to Tennessee, Illinois, and other states. All of them coming off the bus. In front of the entrance, there was a media frenzy, a circus. Media outlets from all over the world asking whoever they can grab hold of, why are you here today? And the answer from many was a simple one. I don't know. But something told me in my heart that I have to be here today. When we went inside the main hall and we trickled into this large facility that can hold over 18,000 people, where the funeral was to take place. In the midst of many great scholars from across the nation, notable figures, and yes, even global leaders. Hamza Yusuf Islam, NBA basketball star at that time, Turgalu, and even the president of Turkey, Erdogan. And that was just not the Muslims, but amongst the masses were the non-Muslims that also felt a sense of need to be there and present themselves at the funeral of Muhammad Ali. Don King, Sugar Ray Leonard, Lennox Lewis, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, and nuns and priests of churches from across the country. The world came to see off and pay respect to a Muslim, many who never met him in their life ever before. I was standing on the fourth row of the janazah, and I can recall looking to my right and looking behind me, and there was only thousands and thousands of people, while 100 more were trickling in like ants. Imam Zaid Shakir led the Salat al-Janazah, after which Dr. Sherman Jackson and many others spoke, as his family sat on the left side, watching as the world mourned with them. It was a day trip, and as we finished Dhuhr prayer at a masjid and on our way back to the airport, you could see the entire city was covered and blanketed with signs of mourning. Hashtag the people's champion. Hashtag the greatest. Rest in peace, Muhammad Ali. Long live Ali. From the buses that were transporting people to the stadiums off the highway, everyone in that city was mourning that day. Nay, the entire nation and the world was mourning that day. I was taught a dua when I was in Medina Munawwara from a fellow Musalli who told me after a Salatul Janazah, Allahumma la tahrimna ajrahu wa la taftinna ba'dahu waghfir lana wa lahu. O Allah, do not deprive us from their good, and do not test us after their departure, and forgive them and ourselves. When I got to the airport and I passed TSA, I spoke to the agent and told him where I was coming from, and him and I broke down in tears. And he told me, as a Caucasian American, he said, I never knew this man, but I saw him coming through this airport at times. He was old and frail, and he couldn't speak because of his Parkinson's disease. But I'll tell you something, that he was the best human being to step foot on this earth. Before boarding my flight, I sat on the side by a window, and I was looking at the plane of the Turkish President Erdogan that is parked in Louisville, Kentucky, asking myself a simple question: what honored this man? What was so important and significant of this man that a person put aside his national duty and came across the Atlantic only to pray on this soul and pay his respect? What gave him such honor? Was it his name? Well, for many of us that attended, we are not from that generation. We were not from the primes of his 60s or his early departure in the 70s. Was it his faith? If it's his faith, which sect of faith did he follow? Which ideology did he follow? Which school of thought or doctrine did he abide by? These questions were just running through my head. And I came to a conclusion which I want to share with you all today. It was not what he was, it was not who he was, and it was not what he believed in. It was his conviction in his faith. He loved Allah. He loved his Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he held the Quran as a guide for his life. And he always accredited his success on his faith. Once he was asked as to what he credits his success on, and he said, and I quote to you his words, I am a strong believer in God and in humanity. That is why God blesses me to be so great here. I am talking about God. I am pushing God. I am pushing religion. I am not talking about how great I am or how much money I have. I am always giving the praise to Allah. That is why I am great, and that is why I am in this world, because I always push Allah first. In the 60s and the 70s, a time when Islam wasn't known in the West as it is today, he was the voice of Islam. He represented Allah and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam without shame or remorse, both in the West and in the East. His faith was so strong, and for those of us that question, well, where was his beard? How come he wore shorts that didn't cover his knees? Understand one thing, my brothers and sisters. You and I do not have the eyes or the capacity to judge faith, to see the value of faith that a person holds within their heart. Only Allah knows that. And if more than 40 are at a person's funeral, you can give testimony of their faith and their success. It wasn't 40, it was close to 18,000. He was so strong in his conviction, he would say, Allah has power over all things. If you believe in him, then even George Foreman looks like a baby. And for those who know who George Foreman was, this statement makes a lot of sense. So it was not the sect, it was not the school, it was not the path, it was the Quran, it was the word of Allah, it was the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was that conviction that he had on this that made him the great and honorable Muhammad Ali. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Iman is conviction. You have a sense of conviction for what you believe in your heart. You believe in it so strong you can taste it although it's not a food. You can smell it although it's not a perfume. And you can feel it even though it's not tangible. Not Islam, Iman. Remember, my dear friends, this wasn't something unique or special in the genes of Muhammad Ali. It was something blessed and unique in his heart. The day that that conviction comes into the hearts of the 1.8 billion Muslims, I promise you, we will then have 7.2 billion Muhammad Alis on this earth, inshaAllah. Now the question is simple. These are now stories of history. These are people of the past. They came and did what needed to be done and they moved on. But they proved something. They proved it's possible. Because their conviction allowed them to stand for what they believed in. It was that conviction that allowed Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X and many other notable figures to stand unapologetically against racism, against inequality. They went against the social norms not because they wanted to be recognized, but because that's what was in their heart and that was planted into their heart, because that's exactly what faith does to you. Faith moves you and it shakes those around you. My question today is, where is that conviction in faith? Where can it be acquired? How can I become the greatness that Allah has destined me to become? Well, I'll give you a hint. Recall those images of Malcolm X supplicating in a masjid. Remember those images of Muhammad Ali praying to his Allah in numerous masajid. Recall the images of them both in their ihram and hajj. Recall their need as they so eloquently articulated it for Allah in their lives. They were not great in their lives and in their time. Their greatness was realized after their demise. that greatness, that conviction comes from one place. And that is the masjid. Because we cannot become the greatness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to become outside of His house. A person can say, I met a famous person or a world leader. But to say that you went to their house, you went to their house where they govern from, you went to the White House, and you met them there is much more significant than saying that you met them elsewhere. It is here where Allah opens our hearts. It is here where Allah grants His guidance in life. It is here where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthens our heart with a sense of resolve. It is here where we build each other. It is here where we gain the conviction in our faith. And it is here where we reach our greatness from Allah. We call on Allah on this blessed Friday, that He opens our eyes to realize where we are, who we are, the opportunity at hand, and allows us to obtain and to strive towards the greatness that Allah has destined for all of us to become. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا أما بعد. My fellow brothers and sisters in Islam, the Ummah has been given opportunities from Allah like no other. Allah has not only given us the path of guidance, but He has shed floodlights on it for us to see it and to move on it with confidence. Yet sadly, for some reason today, the Ummah is breached. A baby in the womb is secure. A baby that comes forth from the womb, inshallah, is secure. But a baby that is breached is in danger. Today the Ummah is breached. We do not know which way to go. Not only are we confused, but we are questioning which way is the best way. No more. The path is forward. The duration is the time allotted. The quest is restoring the honor of Islam, and the goal is seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The conviction and faith will give us a status of being the best human beings that walk on this earth. It will take away from us sympathy from the world. Let us not continue gaining sympathy from the people. We are not here for sympathy. We are not here to be sympathized. We are not here that people cry for us. We are here to lead. We are here to bring about goodness. We are here to be the Muslims who are not just best in their Islam, they're the best in humanity. For we are humans. We are solution makers. Stand up against all wrongs through that conviction. And again, that conviction could be developed. It can be nurtured. It can be solidified here in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here at IATC, we are in pursuit of that conviction, of that connection, of that solution, and of that leadership. We are not to be looked upon as a masjid. Rather, we are a center for opportunities. For we believe in making everyone and uniting all as one. It is evident not by all that we do or by the services we provide, but the demographic we cater to. That too, exclusively beyond our general activities. For those of us who come to Jum'ah or who live far and come here because it is the closest masjid, I want to take this moment to inform you as I inform myself and my community as to what happens here at the Islamic Association of Collin County. Yes, we have Quran classes. Yes, we teach children how to read the Quran and then to recite it with tajweed, and inshallah to memorize the Quran and to gain a degree in qira'ah with our Qari Sheikh Mu'adh. We also have Arabic classes from beginner level to advanced level. We have Islamic studies ongoing. We have a seminary situated here in our masjid. We also provide IT classes, educational seminars, Sunday school, youth classes, and teen classes. We engage on behalf of this masjid and you, the community, in interfaith engagement and also civic engagement. We facilitate outreach of Islam and host our greater community here of all faiths. Yes, we also have a seniors program, sister classes, special need classes. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you one thing, and I want to pause here. We are not separating the sisters or the special need because we don't acknowledge them to be from the masses. These classes, as I said, we cater exclusively beyond what we do, all inclusive. I had the honor, I had the privilege to meet with our special need children, the future of our masjid and their families. 2 weeks ago when I had an opportunity to give a halaqah, one of the family members said, my son may be of special needs, may not have the ability to talk, but when they stand up by this microphone, they can call the adhan like everyone else. And I said, for sure they will call the adhan. Because in this masjid, this is the home of every person. We do not discriminate. We follow the guidelines of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Every human being is precious. Every human being can aspire for greatness, and we have to facilitate that opportunity for them to achieve that greatness through that conviction of faith. So beyond the seniors program, the sister classes, the special need classes and activities, we have family night, community seminars on relevant issues, Joseph Dean for our teens every Thursday night, youth qiyam on one Friday night of every month. We have a gym that, mashallah, is used for games and sports for the girls and the boys, from the youth, the teens, the adults to the seniors. And we also have the WAVES Young Professional Program. Yes, we also provide pastoral counseling, mental health services, a medical clinic, a dental clinic, a food pantry, a library, community assistance program, all of these programs for free. In addition, we have a cemetery that, alhamdulillah, brothers and sisters of our community have fought tooth and nail to make sure that it happens. We have funeral services, a matrimonial program, and much, much more. We do it and we do more because we are helping ourselves to attain that conviction in faith. A conviction that will make us great in the eyes of our Lord, instrumental in our world, and solidify our sense of resolve. I want to close this afternoon with a verse of the Holy Quran in a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that solidify the points that I presented today. The point of the importance of the masjid, and number two, the point of that conviction in faith. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in chapter number 9, verse number 108 states, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, لَمَسْجِدٌ أُسِّسَ عَلَى التَّقْوَى مِنْ أَوَّلِ يَوْمٍ أَحَقُّ أَنْ تَقُومَ فِيهِ رِجَالٌ يُحِبُّونَ أَنْ يَتَطَهَّرُوا وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُطَّهِّرِينَ. A mosque founded on righteousness from the first day is more worthy for you to stand in, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wherein it are men and of course women, men of all people who love to purify themselves, and Allah loves those who purify themselves. We are coming here not to change the atmosphere of the masjid, but to build ourselves off the atmosphere of the masjid. We are here not to become someone else, rather we're here to become what Allah wants us to become. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is being told the importance of the masjid, then ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? How can I succeed without the masjid? A Muslim in the absence of the masjid is like a human without a heart. Its importance and significance is equal. In a hadith and tradition, the Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam stated, ذَاقَ طَعْمُ الْإِيمَانِ مَنْ رَضِيَ بِاللَّهِ رَبًّا وَبِالْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا وَبِمُحَمَّدٍ رَسُولًا وَنَبِيًّا sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That person has tasted, not tasting or will taste. That person has tasted the sweetness of faith, who is pleased with Allah as their Lord, with Islam as their religion, and with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as the messenger and the prophet. We make that love possible for ourselves when we enter nowhere else but the house of Allah. For those of us who feel that relevancy isn't there anymore in our masajid, that we're not connecting with the opportunities and the challenges that we have in the world, let me say something. None of us, including myself, no institution or masjid can claim that they have done a good job or an adequate job to confront the problems of the world today. For we all are learning together. We are facing those challenges together. But we have a realization that we might have forgotten. And that realization is through the power of our faith, through the resolve and the determination and that conviction in faith, does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala empower us, inspire us, utilize us, and help us solve the problems of our world today. Dr. Sherman Jackson said in his speech after the funeral of Muhammad Ali, and I quote to you, Ali put the question of whether a person can be a Muslim or an American to rest. He owned it. He knocked it out. He exemplified it. For he represented the best of both. At a time when Islam had its challenges, and the only programs happening in the masjid was the Friday Jummah Khutbah, and possibly a Sunday tafsir class. It was what he gained from the masjid in his heart which made him a solution for Islam, a da'i, an inviter for Islam, a representative of Islam here in America for all of us in our generations to come. So dear community of Plano, the time is now. The call has been made. Support your masjid. Support your community. Support not the masjid where so-and-so is imam or where I like going. Support the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be a part of it. Strive and make sacrifice for it. For there is a lot at stake, yet there is a lot out there to gain. As it has been announced, we have our annual fundraiser. Because what I just described to you from the programs that we facilitate, we are doing this because we're helping ourselves, all of us, reach our greatness. Help us, help each other, help our family, help our community to make it possible. I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow at our banquet. I look forward to seeing us all with our families. I look forward to seeing all of us with our families as one unit and one ummah, because that's exactly the message that's been driven over and over and over again for the last 5 months. We cannot succeed as Muslims without unity. In the absence of unity, there's only failure. May Allah unite our hearts. May Allah unite us as one people. May Allah give us a sense of resolve and conviction in the heart with faith. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be instrumental in our time, where we live and at the time we live. We send salutations and blessings upon Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself states in the Holy Quran, Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم ألف بين قلوبنا وأصلح ذات بيننا واهدنا سبل السلام وجنبنا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن. اللهم اشف مرضانا وعاف مبتلانا وارحم موتانا يا رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. Please ensure that our lines are straight, stand shoulder to shoulder. The edge of our heels should be on the edge of the line. Please ensure the line in front of us is complete from both ends before we form a second line. There are many brothers who are still waiting outside. Let us move forward, inshallah, so we could accommodate them also. Jazakumullah khairan.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah.